business owner? Entrepreneur? Want to learn how online marketing can improve your business?
Your questions.
Our advice.
This is Not a Real Job.
Hello and welcome to episode 102 of Not a Real Job, a podcast that's all about, all about sounds like, it sounds like some sort of guarantee to the listener, Christopher, and I'm not sure we should do that. So let's just say this is a podcast that is occasionally about marketing. And I'm Joel Kelly, and I do marketing.
And I am Chris Van Patten, and I'm not in marketing.
What would you say you do then?
I would say I'm a lover.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fighter.
A bit of a fighter.
I'm an eater.
An eater.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that about sums it up.
A Renaissance man.
Indeed. I am a bon vivant, you might say. A raconteur.
A cul-de-sac.
A Vincent van Gogh.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
A joie de vivre.
Yes, I am.
Je ne sais quoi.
I am an attorney's general.
Mm-hmm. And a 101 Dalmatian. How did your 101 Dalmatian marathon go last week?
Did I say that I was going to do that?
No, I just assumed.
Oh, well, I didn't do that. I regret to report. But it would have gone well.
Feels like you missed an opportunity.
I guess so. Although maybe this week I can watch the 102 Dalmatians, which I believe is Patch's Adventure, Patch's London Adventure. Let's check the Google. 102 Dalmatians. Maybe this might be. Oh, no, it is. Sorry, it's 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure. That is my mistake.
Feels like a missed opportunity.
Well, there is a 102 Dalmatians, but that's from the live action series, which I consider non-canon.
Right, that's the Glenn Close-averse.
Yes, exactly.
Now, did Glenn Close reprise her role of Cruella de Vil in 102 Dalmatians?
I'm assuming that she played one of the dogs. But I can't...
Okay. Now, and... does her character die in the first film? I assume she is at some point devoured by the dogs.
Right, which is how she becomes the dog. No, turns out Glenn Close did reprise her role. Also in this film, Gerard Depardieu, Eric Idle of the Python, Monty's Python, Jim Carter, who you Downton Abbey fans may recognize as the butler, Mr. Carson. This is really a stacked cast. We got Timothy West here. I mean, we got just all kinds of names. We got Hugh Futcher, Kenneth Caravan. So many of the old faves.
Your Alice Evans.
Of course.
Of the Abduction Club.
The best movies.
Yeah. So basically. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a star-studded cast. I don't think I've seen this one either.
No, you're not missing a whole lot.
I just don't like Glenn Close.
She seems, and I hope you're not listening, Ms. Glenn, but sort of a low-rent Meryl Streep. Do you think that's fair to say?
I was going to say a mix between a low-rent Meryl Streep and a low-rent Tilda Swinton.
And we've just offended a lot of people, I think. Yeah, no, I would agree.
Her close friends and family? I think we're pretty safe territory here.
They are her close friends.
Close friends, exactly.
That's because, that's her name. That's the joke that I was making.
I thought it was pronounced close.
I don't
close.
I think you're thinking of the verb, perhaps. Are you familiar with verbs?
Yeah, I'm aware of the verb être in French, which means something. Let's go with to be.
So you are done with your travel for a little while. Is that true?
Good show so far. Yeah, I am. I will be in town until August 19th.
Wow, that's almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, something like that. That'll be my longest stretch in Halifax for some time.
Are you excited about this?
Not really. No. I mean, I kind of like being on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of weird being home. Like I think I said in the last show, like I had gotten used to, even though it was only for a couple months stretch there of being on the road more than I was at home. So it's a bit to get used to. And of course I have to move next weekend. So I'm not super looking forward to that either.
You're a bit of a rambling man.
Yeah. What about you? You traveling anywhere?
I'm going to Asia at the end of September, but nothing until then, really. Trip upstate this weekend just for a wedding, but nothing too fancy.
Well,
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, this has been Not a Real Job. What do you have for
gear
your
picks?
No, I'm
sleepy. I don't know if anyone can get that, but I'm pretty tired.
I took a nap today, so I'm kind of good to go for a little while.
Super jealous. Are you drinking anything now?
No, I'm not. I drank a lot last night, so I'm going to recover today. Yes.
Yeah, I've heard about people doing that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately,
taking a day off.
The fans will be glad to know that I have my wallet and I have my phone, so a successful night.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the only question I asked you when I found out you were drinking. So, yeah, I think people who know you know the risks.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are you drinking?
I just got a vodka soda here.
Nice. With the homemade soda.
Keeping it pretty cash. No, this is Perrier.
I thought the whole point of your thing
has been.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say I'm out of carbon dioxide, as I so often am.
Because I was going to ask about the soda stream, but you answered that. Now I got to tell you, Joel, as somebody who loses one's phone a lot, as you know, I just got the new iCloud Photos, the Photos app, and I love it because it means that I can lose my phone and have all of my photos. It's pretty great.
Yeah, no, that app is excellent. If only someone were to invent a piece of software that did that, but for music. I'm looking forward to that invention.
See, I realize, especially in the past week, and maybe we'll link up to some of the articles, but I'm the only person in the world who likes iTunes. It's just me. It is solely me. Because it works for me. See, I don't use your Apple Music, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I'm a Spotify diehard. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I certainly don't. I don't resent you necessarily for that. I wish I had a similar experience. Not much. I mean, I wish that when I would go to move music from my computer onto my phone, it didn't tell me it was going to delete everything off my phone. I wish that didn't happen. I also wish that, when I selected download songs to my phone from Apple Music, as was a much touted feature that literally every other streaming music service had, that it would actually do that and not kind of download a few of them, but give me no reason why it didn't download the others. So that I would say leave the home thinking that I had downloaded a new music album to my cellular telephone, only to find out later that I had like 6 songs. With no indication of why those songs or why the other ones hadn't downloaded. And I wish that wasn't what I would consider at this point the typical experience. But here we are. Apple Music is garbage. And it's a hell. What is it? A hell stew? What did Marco and those other people call it?
A toxic hell stew, I believe.
Yeah.
So
I mean that's
Apple is bad at clouds, is what I hear.
They sure are. They sure are, and seem to be doing nothing to dissuade us from believing that. So
yes. So joke's on them.
But here we are.
Indeed.
Jokes. Is it on them?
Well,
it feels like the joke's on me.
the joke is making the rounds. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, the joke's the joke's on all of us.
Well,
if you think
Joel's
about it.
a sleepy boy.
I am a tuckered bunny. That's what we'll say.
So I soft
but you know,
launched firsthand
that's-
last
yeah,
week.
What is that?
That is an application for playing chess on your Palm
Where-
Pad, your Palm Pilot.
I have a Palm Pre. Will it work on that?
I believe you mean the Palm Pre.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. But seriously, what is this, and where can I find out more?
Why don't as the apparently in name only marketing director?
Fucker.
Why don't
You're a piece of shit.
Well,
Sorry, no.
the people love
Yeah,
me.
no.
I'm teasing.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No. Chris is rightly, we'll say teasing, but being a big old meanie to me, because I have promised a comms plan for the app that we've been working on for a long time. I could make a series of excuses that explain my behavior, but there's really no point. I did share some documents with you right before this call, so we do have some stuff to talk about. But anyway.
Oh, convenient. Bastard.
Firsthand, we're billing as a service that gives you access to local travel experts at your fingertips. You can get firsthand knowledge of new cities or places that you'd like to visit before you've ever been there. And once you land in this new place you'd like to explore, you can get real advice from real people on the ground quickly. So you can make sure that you go to the actual best places, coolest places that aren't just full of tourists, and not just what's most popular, and not just places that your aggregating review apps might send you to, which might not give you a clear picture of what's actually cool and what people actually recommend. So firsthand, you can go to gofirsthand.com to find out more.
And maybe by the time, well, not by the time this airs, but maybe by next week, we'll actually be Ask Firsthand. I have secured back
Do we
orders.
want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So the domain name firsthand.com, not available, for better or worse. So we went with the backup gofirsthand.com. Then I was kind of playing around and found askfirsthand.com, which is also not available, but was expiring very soon. And so I kind of set up a monitor to kind of watch it. Because sometimes, you'll see that a domain name is supposed to be expiring, but then it gets renewed at the last moment or whatever. That was not the case with this one. It is actually being deleted, and as of Friday, will go to back order. So I think it's a better name. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think so. It just, Go Firsthand is kind of just the one of the app defaults when you can't get the domain you actually want. Like we could have gone with Firsthand HQ, maybe, or something like that. So
Firsthand
I think
app or something
Firsthand
like
is
that.
just, yeah, exactly. I think Ask Firsthand is just the most clear and clearly related to what we're actually doing, since it is a sending out questions and receiving advice app or a service. I think it just makes sense.
Yeah, it actually says what it does on the tin, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. On the tin.
On the tin. The old tin, Tinaroo, Tinder, tin bull. So
We
you
made
did
an
share
app
some
called
documents.
Tinder.
with me. Yes, we made Tinder. It's an app where you burn things.
like feelings.
Like you burn lots of. Wait, let's not get into that.
Let's really not.
So this
Not
is
right now,
interesting.
at least.
No, I'm looking at the calendar. It's a thing. You did a thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a comms plan. I like it. So walk me through the overall view. Don't want to go too deep on the listeners yet. Want to give them some time,
So the overall, give me a little bit more direction. What are you asking me to do?
I'm asking you to talk.
Oh, you're asking me to fill dead air.
Yes.
So what I did is I started with the calendar because honestly, I had just written scattered notes over a bunch of notebooks. and things like that. So I decided with the calendar just kind of write down some specific tactics. It's rarely a good idea to start with tactics and then work back from strategy, but sometimes that's just how it happens. So I wrote down a bunch of tactics and how I thought we could space things out, like blog posts, email newsletters, things like that. And then, of course, not just things like we should write a blog post this, at week 2, but also some ideas on what those blog posts could be. And then once I felt like I had a pretty good handle on what I was trying to accomplish, I started working on the formal communications plan, which includes partnerships, paid media, unpaid and earned media. That's PR, that's kind of press, content marketing, and social media.
I like it.
So essentially what I'm doing, still a work in progress, but going through what the goals are for each of those. So for instance, with partnerships, our goals are to build credibility for the Firsthand brand by, relating ourselves or attaching ourselves to other larger, more recognized brands. Obviously, it will help us save money on paid media if we're getting help from another partner, and then building lasting relationships that could help Firsthand grow. And then, how I think we're going to accomplish that, and then a list of specific tactics. So I broke that out for each of those. I've got to finish up the social media section, but that'll be the easiest one. So I left that for last. Got some pretty bigger ideas around partnerships and some paid stuff we could do if we decided to look for investment or funding. So yeah, it's coming along pretty well. I think this will be a pretty beefy document once it's finished, which it is certainly getting there. And then
yeah, it's almost
essentially we're good
just
for
over 4 pages.
A real launch.
Yeah, it's exciting. So it is live. So if you are going to Barcelona, you can use it, but we haven't done any marketing as we've made clear. So it's sort of a soft launch, a quiet public beta, we could probably call it. But yeah, this is exciting. I had not seen these documents until literally this show. So it's pretty great. I think something that we're going to have to discuss maybe off mic or at some other juncture is how we're going to execute on these, because there's a lot here. Fortunately, we have an amazing assistant who I think can help out with some of this stuff. I've got some friends who are interested in sort of, pitching in and offering their services. So I think we've got, for sure, we've got people. It's just a question of figuring out, who they are and how we can use them.
Yeah, exactly. As you and I, who are very seasoned outsourcers and delegators, I think the big part is just being able to chunk it up into specific tasks. And that's where it's not quite at yet. We're not at a point where we can say, here's a blog post that needs to be written, or here's a list of contacts we need, or find me the contact information for this proposed partner. I got to get it down more specific than that. But that's definitely on the path we're on, as we'll be able to, we'll be able to break it up more obviously.
Yeah. Now I have, well, I was just going to add that I also have existing sort of processes in place that I was using for blog posts for Van Patten Media and Blastoff, which is sort of dead, but might be coming back. More on that later. Cool. So we can also transfer some of those processes into Firsthand when we get to the point where we have an idea of, what should the content look like. We can, sort of reapply some of those content marketing flows. And obviously, I don't know if we've talked about it too much on the show, but the email newsletter, the Firsthand Citizen, the process is basically all set for that. We've sent out, I think, 2 of those. And you can sign up on the website for that as well. But so yeah, I think it's really a question of, getting very specific with what some of these tactics involve. And then, me or somebody else taking the time to build out the specific processes so we can sort of automate and scale our marketing. Because what I'm concerned about, or what has kind of been an issue up till this point for both of us, I'm not, trying to put you on blast specifically like about the marketing, but we're both very busy people. We're both traveling a lot. Yeah. We're both, we have, our real quote unquote jobs, you doing your marketing, me doing the website stuff. So it's sort of a question, especially with something like this, where you sort of have to be consistent with it. It's not like, we can write a blog post this week and then skip next week and then maybe, start a Facebook ad thing. We have to be sort of consistent and dive really, kind of all in. So I think for us, what's going to make this the most effective is sort of figuring out, okay, who's going to do what, and making sure that it's not, as much as possible, that it's not us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that deserves to be restated, is that at this point, this thing is completely bootstrapped. Like, this is, we haven't sought out any investors. We don't have tons of funding in the bank for either of us to kind of quit our day jobs and focus on this. That's not the intent right now. So yeah, I think as we talk more over the next, I'm sure, many, many weeks about this, I think that'll be a big part of it, is how you can, I mean, ideally carve out time for a side project. I mean, both of us are I mean, neither of us have children at this point. We do have
well, we know of. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna let you hang out there. Chris apologizes.
I'm sorry.
So we are lucky in that sense that we're in kind of privileged positions where our free time is our free time. So we might as well kind of take advantage of that and see if we can make a go of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have been sort of, in the back channels kind of talking or at least sort of, mentioning the idea of funding. And so, now sort of having this comms plan coming together, I think, we can bootstrap for a while, but I think it's definitely going to be at some point, I think, we'll want to have the discussion. And maybe that's on the show, how much, do we want to take funding? What do we want to use that for? How can we make the most impact? So, we're not, buying out expensive office space with foosball tables that we don't need. Like, how are we making sure that it's actually delivering results? It's that, the gross term ROI. Like, how do we make sure that it's actually, being used in a valuable way?
Yeah, I think we're both probably, fans of how the Basecamp folks have done things over the years, a bit, building products that are meant to make money on their own and not things that, just hemorrhage investor money. So it's not that we're necessarily opposed to investors. It's just that we, to this point, the goal has been to make a product that could one day, be self-sustaining and focusing on that, right now, building the product, building a way to position it that can be profitable, has been the focus. But, obviously, if this sounds interesting to you and you'd like to get involved, reach out.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, I think, there's a lot to discuss with this. And I think it's good because at least, we can discuss it on the show and have something to talk about on the show. Mm-hmm. But it is exciting. We'll have to sort of figure out exactly how transparent we want to be and that kind of thing. But in general, exciting stuff. And we'll keep you updated.
Yeah, exactly. I think, again, because it is us and not, we don't have a team of investors or a board who might be slapping our wrists for talking about things. We're lucky in that way, too, that we can be exactly as transparent or opaque as we decide. So hopefully that'll make for good PCasting.
Absolutely. And on that note, speaking of good PCasting, if you want to support our PCasting, we put products on our website. So if you go to the show notes, which are at notarealjob.com/episode-102 or notarealjob.com/gear, we put in product recommendations every week that you can buy on Amazon. And if you do, we get a tiny percentage of that, and it helps us make the show a little bit better. So, Joel, what are you going to put in as your Amazon recommendation this week?
So this is one I am so excited about. It finally arrived. It took a couple weeks to ship, and I think a couple weeks after that to arrive. This is a book called Mid-Century Ads. It's by Taschen. I believe they're a publishing company.
Yeah, they're an art house publisher.
Germany.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So they released, they've got a few of them, but the one that I picked up is, like I said, just called Mid-Century Ads, and it is a giant, well, it's not I don't know how to describe it. I'd say it's Bible sized, like a typical hardcover Bible size in heft and thickness. There's some commentary, but for the most part, it is just ads from the 50s and 60s, and it's beautiful to flip through, kind of get some inspiration, figure out how they were trying to sell things back when, print media was the dominant one as TV was just emerging. I think it's a lot of fun to flip through, and I'm having a great time just going through it. So if you're into advertising, I can't recommend it highly enough. Mid-century ads.
Cool. All right. This week I'm going to put in well, let me go back. Let me tell you a story. Recently our microwave broke. So we have a microwave that I won't mention because it broke. But I researched the problem and found out kind of what was happening. And apparently it's a pretty common problem and pretty easy to fix. Unfortunately, the microwave needed a special kind of bit, a security bit, they're called. And I didn't have any. So I went on Amazon and I ordered some. So this is the Extreme Power US 100-piece security bit set with a hard storage case. It's about $11.50 when I bought it. And it's a set of bits that you can use to get into just about everything. So if you are in the situation where you need to repair something and you can't find the right bit, or it's a special bit, give this a try. So it might help.
So many questions. So have you fixed the microwave?
Have I fixed it?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Sorry, your audio dropped. I wasn't being obtuse.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I fixed it. Basically, the little hinge that holds the door closed was not moving, so the microwave kind of just always thought it was open. So I had to open it up and just kind of bend back that piece.
Did you have to supercharge it? How Tim Allen-esque did you get while you were in there? Or Tim Taylor, I should say. Did you grunt and say something along the lines of more power?
I did, yeah. There was a lot of wild gesticulation with a chainsaw. That's a thing that happens, right?
Now,
I've never seen
absolutely.
the show.
And follow-up question: Did your roommates witness this, or did you wait for them to be gone, so just in case you embarrassed yourself and no one would be able to see it?
No, it was witnessed. It was witnessed in full view of the Lord.
All right, good.
That's a thing that people say, right?
It's important. You had a priest there to bless.
It was more of an exorcism than a blessing, but yes.
Would you say that it was more of Jesus guiding your hands than you doing it outright, and perhaps you were just a vessel for his capital H work?
No, see, he wasn't really guiding me, but he did lift me up. So there was only one set of footprints after the work was done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because you are a slightly a man of slightly smaller stature, you did need a boost up, and Jesus was there to give you a boost so you could reach the microwave.
Yes. That's how the old story goes. Anyway.
That is how religion works.
As
far as I know.
I believe it. All right. Well, let's end this clusterfuck while we can. This has been Not a Real Job. You can find us all over the interwebs. NotARealJob.com, of course, is our HQ, I believe some people say. We are on Twitter at NargeCast, at Chris Van Patten, at Joel Kelly, and at Go Firsthand. We haven't used it at all, but if you want to get on the ground floor, now's the time. We're also on Facebook /NotARealJob. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher at NotARealJob.com/iTunes or /Stitcher. Please leave us reviews in both those places if you can. We really appreciate it. It does mean the world to us. And if you want to get in touch with a question that you'd like us to answer on the show about your marketing or anything like that, NotARealJob.com/questions. And if you want to talk to us privately, NotARealJob.com/contact. Also, we have a partnerships or a sponsorships page rather. That's over, I believe, at NotARealJob.com / typing it in, trying to remember. notarealjob.com/sponsorships. We have a couple different tiers there. We would love you to support us. We haven't done any of these yet formally, so you can be the first, and we would really appreciate it. It goes from $20 all the way up to $100. There's something for everyone, lots of perks, and we'd really love to get your support. So, I think that's it.
I'm going to go eat a bag of ketchup chips.
I'm going to go find a taco to eat.
Nice. Now, okay, briefly before we leave, find or like purchase?
Well, I have to find it before I can purchase it.
Okay.
I can't just walk out onto the street and thrust out money and say, taco, please. I have to source the taco.
Okay, well, that's not my understanding of New York, but I'll take your word for it as you have more direct experience.
Indeed. You could always ask firsthand if you're confused.
And they will,
They'll tell you how to find a taco in Barcelona, so they won't really help.
That's well, I mean, book a flight.
Something.
You've always wanted to go.
Indeed. All right, folks, thank you for listening. We're so sorry, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep.